What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and believe it or not, I'm going to build my very own Nintendo Punch-Out arcade unit. That's right, Punch-Out was one of my favorite games growing up as a kid. I actually even had one in my basement growing up that got damaged in a house fire, unfortunately. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my own unit. I'm going to probably do it in 3 videos showing you guys exactly how I did it, the components I used that went into the machine, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this journey just as much as I will. Alright guys, so I've decided to build my own Punch-Out unit. About 1.5 years ago to 2 years ago, I bought an Arcade1up that actually converted into my very own Arcade1up Punch-Out machine using a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and of course I got new artwork for it, a Punch-Out light-up Marquee, and it actually looks really cool. However, I've noticed after playing it for a bunch, I don't really get that arcade feel from it, guys. I don't get that full-style Nintendo arcade cabinet feel, which they're all very unique, the Nintendo-style arcade cabinets, which I loved growing up. So what I've decided to do is build my very own. I'm going to show you some of the components that I used that I've purchased already, believe it or not, that just showed up on my doorstep, that I'm going to use to build this Punch-Out machine. Now, Game Room Solutions offers their very own Nintendo-style mid-size cabinet. So as you can see, they actually show you the Punch-Out artwork on it. Now you could buy this unit and get your own whatever artwork you want to buy. But of course, being a Punch-Out enthusiast like myself, I decided to go with the Punch-Out unit. Now, from what I believe, like I said, it just showed up on my doorstep that the artwork comes installed. I picked my own T-molding, which of course is white like the classic Punch-Out style. All the Nintendo style cabinets have the white T-molding. So I decided to go with that. However, I did alter the artwork just a little bit. I tried to stay close to the classic arcade look, but I did want some features that the classic Nintendo Punch-Out didn't have. The original, of course, was very bland looking. The whole thing was black. It had a double screen, which of course I cannot put in as well, but I do have a 22-inch vertical monitor that I purchased from Amazon. I'm going to show you the Micro Center price because actually I went to go get it at Micro Center, and of course they were sold out, but I found the exact same unit for the exact same price on Amazon, so I just purchased it from them. So using these 2 pieces of equipment, I'm going to build my very own machine. The one thing I will say, just looking right from the start, of course, the original Punch-Out cabinet did not have a riser. It was classically one piece. However, you know, this is the cabinet that I decided to go with because it actually was a Nintendo looking style cabinet, and is the only one I could find out there, unless I was going to buy an original Punch-Out, which required way too much work and probably way too much stuff that I didn't know how to do. So this is a nice compromise for me, and I am going to add my own special things to this cabinet. So we're going to go along the journey. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I put in. Alright guys, so this is the box arriving at my garage. Again, everything came in one box, tightly shipped. I have no qualms how they sent this thing. It actually came in one piece. Of course, this is the Arcade1up that I'm going to be taking the components out of. It's a Punch-Out unit that I had built. Again, everything looks great, plays okay, but I really didn't get that Nintendo cabinet arcade Punch-Out feel. As you can see, what I did with the control panel on this one, I tried to make it similar to the original Punch-Out machine. So after I unpacked everything, this is what you kind of see. All the pieces are kind of spread out all over my office floor. There's a ton of pieces. It is a cam lock system, so that's usually easy to work with. It's like an Arcade1up style. However, I did order a trackball with this unit and they forgot to ship it. I later found out that they were out of stock and they refunded me my $49.99 or wherever I paid for the trackball. So you can see here the side panels of the arcade unit. I will say this, their arcade graphics are absolutely amazing. They came in like a matte finish to actually look like a classic arcade game. And of course the white T-molding that I chose, I actually had to install it myself. I thought they was going to come with T-molding pre-installed, but I have done T-molding before. It is not that bad. It is not too difficult, but it is a little bit of a pain in the ass because you have to cut the T-molding and then kind of bang it in a little bit very gently. And if you don't have a rubber mallet, you can use a hammer, but you do run the risk of damaging or scuffing the T-molding itself. But as long as you go slow, it's manageable. So what I'm doing first is I'm installing the LEDs for the Marquee on this piece, which is actually the top of the arcade cabinet. It's a lot easier to install these LED strips before the cabinet is actually built, of course. So running these wires, and then of course I'm going to take this and attach it to the power cord and then Once this thing is built, this baby should light up. Alright guys, so I've started assembling everything here, and as you can see, it's going together nice and easy. The one thing is though, they did not include a set of instructions. I don't know if they just forgot or this thing doesn't come with a set of instructions. Regardless, they have a video on their website on how to kind of put these things together. So as I'm going through this, I'm looking at the video and just going step by step. I've already installed the LEDs to the Marquee. As you can see, I've attached the 22-inch monitor that I got from Amazon. And then down below, I've included a one speaker that I had on the original Punch-Out Arcade1up. I stole it from there, and I installed it, of course, on the front plate for where the speaker goes. So one of my favorite things about this mod, guys, is this faux coin door I got from Laramie Griffith on the Arcade Mod Up groups on Facebook. He actually has his own Etsy store where he makes all different types of arcade products. I asked him to make me a Nintendo fake coin door, which he did. It's got light up buttons. The buttons actually are pressable, so you can use them as coin buttons. So instead of actually, using a coin, you just press the coin button and it gives you a credit. Like I said, really cool option for people who don't want to install a real coin door. I toyed with that option for a little bit, but decided to go with the faux one. Really easy to install. All I had to do was drill 2 button size holes through this kick plate, and they just screw on. It's nice and easy. So this is the control panel, guys. I actually had a tough time with this thing, and I'm going to tell you why. I decided to go with 2 orange buttons and 1 blue for the main buttons. A lot of the original Punch-Outs where I saw, there was 1 orange and 1 red. I saw one with 2 orange, and I saw one with 2 black. So I just went ahead and gone with 2 orange because that's what my original Punch-Out had, and decided my third button was going to be blue. This control panel also has a coin start button, a player 1 button, trackball, and of course I added my own knockout button. Now I got this button off of Mike's Arcade. I had a few issues with this thing. It came with its own harness. The harness was actually too big to actually use on this board. The button itself is very short, so to get it actually through the board and then hook up the micro switch, I had to actually jerry rig it and cut it out, and I used the bottom of a button itself, cut it off, and then attached a micro switch to it to actually use it to be playable on the machine. It was a huge pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. It is functional, does work, so that's really all that matters. This thing is finally built. I'm going to go around the back and show you guys all the stuff that's inside. Of course, you can see the LEDs running wild in the back of the system. I wanted to actually let them show towards the back because there are cutouts on the back of this arcade unit. So we get a nice glow once the lights are off and these cabinets are closed. We get that light shining through the back like a classic arcade feel. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys towards the bottom all the wires. They're still hanging loose everywhere. I haven't tied everything up neatly yet. Everything's plugged into its own breaker bar, which then attaches to the power input. And of course you could see that my Raspberry Pi, my encoder boards, everything not so neatly plugged in as of yet, and I will get everything squared away once this baby's done. To turn this unit on and off, I purchased a on-off switch from DIY Retrocade, and it's actually my first time using one of these things. It actually makes life really convenient. The inside plugs right into a breaker bar, which has all the components plugged into it, and of course plugs right into your wall and allows to shut down the system with a nice on-off switch. So the last part of this video, of course, is me hooking up the buttons, the Raspberry Pi, everything up to the control deck. As you can see, I have everything wired up to an encoder board. Not too hard. I can't really get in there and reach the encoder board because the coin buttons for the phone coin door are actually connected to it, so I had to recess it further. But either way, not too many buttons, nice and easy. All it takes is 2 connectors to the encoder, and that's pretty much it. The only thing I still have to do is actually get the trackball working. It is connected, but I got to configure the Raspberry Pi to take the trackball as a mousepad input. That's it for part 1 of this Nintendo Punch-Out arcade build, guys. I hope you enjoyed some of the stuff I shared with you. Be on the lookout for part 2, which is going to cover the gameplay, how the system looks, feels, plays, reacts, everything included in this part 2 of this video. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of this journey with me.